Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to this guest lecture by Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, hosted by Cognizance 2021 on AirMeet as well as on YouTube. I am pleased to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, co-founder and MD of Hiranandani Group. I would also like to welcome Professor Ajit Kumar Chaturvedi, Director, IIT Roorkee, to this event. We also have among us Professor Manish Rikhande, Dean of Sponsored Research and Industrial Consultancy, Professor Akshay Dwivedi, Associate Dean of Corporate Interactions, and Professor Mukesh Kumar Barua, Dean of Student Welfare. Now, I would like to call upon Professor Manish Rikhande to tell us more about this event.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cognizance is an effort to foster problem solving and innovation to supplement classroom teaching. IIT Roorkee has a long and proud legacy of producing excellent engineers and scientists who have done their alma mater proud. And just this year, CII has also bestowed the Most Innovative Educational Institute Award on IIT Roorkee. Dr. Hiranandani, who has created a new benchmark in excellence in real estate, has been very kind to accept our invitation and share his thoughts with us. And I'm sure that all of us will be immensely benefited by his rich experience. I look forward to hearing you, sir. We all look forward to eagerly look forward to hearing your thoughts. And with that, I extend welcome to IIT Roorkee. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to call Professor Ajit Kumar Chaturvedi to grace us with his kind words.
So, on behalf of the entire institute, it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani. I think we have all been hearing this name for several decades now. Whenever we used to visit Powai, IIT Bombay, and the skyline would inevitably remind you of this name Hiranandani. And since the last 1 year, when this lockdown has happened, and he's also a very familiar face on the television shows, and I'm sure that many of us become successful, but very few of us get the kind of success that Dr. Hiranandani has. And I think his iconic success will inspire our students to learn something unique that he must have learned. We all know that classroom teaching is like starting an engine. You can just kick start it, but beyond that, if learning has to
Mr. Chaturvedi, we lost your voice. We have lost your voice.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now again? Maybe there was a brief interruption.
Yeah, now it's on.
Yeah. So I'm saying that learning does happen in the classroom, and it's like starting an engine. But it doesn't mean that when you go out of the portals of your classroom and the institute, the engine has to stop. In fact, the engine has to become bigger and bigger, and more horsepower has to come. And this horsepower can come only with lifelong learning and how you can learn from your experiences. And I think this is what we want to hear today from Dr. Hiranandani, that how our students and all of us can continue learning beyond the four walls of the classroom. I would like to hand over to Dr. Hiranandani. Yeah.
I'm losing you, sir. I can't hear.
Oh, okay. Maybe there is. I think I'm done.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm done. Maybe you can hand over to.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I can't hear you, sir.
So we can hear you.
We can hear you very well. So there is no interruption. We can hear you.
Thank you, sir, for your gracious word. Now, I would like to call upon Professor Akshay Dwivedi.
Can I speak, because I couldn't hear your last few words? Is it yes? Can I go ahead?
You can. We want to briefly introduce you. Dr. Dwivedi will introduce you, and then you can go ahead. Yeah, Dr. Dwivedi.
I'm sorry.
Sir, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, but I couldn't hear the last few sentences of Mr. Chaturvedi, Professor.
Sir, Professor Akshay Dwivedi would be introducing you, and then we can go ahead with your lecture. Just a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hiranandani. A very warm welcome to IIT Roorkee. Though your name doesn't need any introduction, but since this is a custom, I am doing it. Dear IIT community, Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani is co-founder and managing director of Hiranandani Group. He also heads a distinct business unit, Hiranandani Communities. He spearheads as the national president for National Real Estate Development Council, which works under the aegis of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and appointed president of one of the oldest trade body of India, the Association. An innovator by passion, Dr. Hiranandani is a first-generation entrepreneur. Born in 1950s, Dr. Hiranandani is son of Padma Vibhushan awardee Dr. L.S. Hiranandani, an ENT specialist. He did his FCA from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and started his career as a chartered accountant professor. This was followed by a short span of experience in the textile industry. Very soon, his intellect and entrepreneurship skills gave him the vision to look beyond this, and he stepped into the real estate industry, delivering the globally landmark project Hiranandani Gardens at Powai, Mumbai. The saga of luxury real estate began, and he has not looked back since. He gradually scaled new heights in policy framing, township development with rich and vast experience. He is well known as builder extraordinaire and as the visionary man behind redefining the skyline of Mumbai. With his profound knowledge, sharp business acumen, and ambitious attitude, he has been conferred with leadership roles across the various prominent business organizations and apex chambers by industry experts. He has played leadership and senior advisory roles in various industry bodies, namely Maharashtra Chamber of Housing Industry, Indian Merchants Chamber, the FICCI, Confederation of Real Estate Developers, Association of India. He has also been a member of study group on slum rehabilitation scheme, Government of Maharashtra. He has been convener of key groups representing business community in the United Nations Conference of Human Settlements. Accredited as one of the wealthiest Indian developers to an industry thought leader, there is much more to his profile. The philanthropist's role unveils his charitable social commitment as a responsible citizen of the nation. He is trustee of 17 colleges and 8 schools. He is provost of HNSC University, Mumbai, and runs a vocational skills center in Mumbai. He is also trustee for multiple hospitals and temples as part of his charity initiatives. With this, I welcome Dr. Hiranandani to deliver his talk. And Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, I will also request you how you transformed your personal life at a very late age of 48 into the charismatic personality that you had been leading with now. So maybe you can focus on that particular part. That is really interesting for people in our age group. And of course, your motivating words will be enlightening our students present here. Thank you very much. Dr. Hiranandani, please.
I'm sorry I didn't hear much of what you said, but nevertheless, can you hear me all?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes, you are properly audible.
It's my pleasure and privilege to come to your institution, IIT Roorkee. I've heard a lot about it and the wonderful things that you have been doing. And of course, now you have also won the CII award of the most innovative institute of the year. So heartiest congratulations and best wishes on this award and also many, many awards to come in the future time that we are doing. Being engineering students, obviously, and of such a reputable institute, has put a large amount of expectations of people out of the persons who come out of this institute. But lo behold, talk to the persons who are actually going to give you the employment. And what do they have to say? Do they say about the curriculum or the subject that you are talking about? Or what else is actually required from the students that really counts at the end of the day when you get a job? Yes, you must know your subject, like any other professional person must. But over and above that, the expectations have changed. Expectations have changed because the people want you to be skilled very differently than just the subjects that you are taught about. So you must know how to deal with people, human relationships. You must be able to do negotiation. You must be able to communicate. You must be able to see that your thoughts and ideas are put down the line if you are a leader, or up the line to your bosses that you need to do. All this requires different sorts of skill sets that you do need to put on. And that is why when you have a program like the one which you are having in Cognizant 2021, it becomes extremely useful to you, because you are then being able to imbibe newer skills which otherwise would not be as a part of the normal communication. So, what is it that really makes the difference when you go out into the world and write and see how you have done your job? May I share certain ideas that I've got in my head, which I want to share and put across to you, so that you also can take benefit of what I think has caused some of the successes that I have made and you have been kind enough to mention. The first thing which I have found is that many people say they like their job. Oh, we like the job? Is that really enough? What happens to the persons who actually excel in their job? They actually learn to love their job. What do you mean by love the job? Job is a job. How can you love that? You can love a person, but how can you be there? Yes, but the truth is that you have to learn to become passionate about your job. Let's take the projects that I worked on, the real estate project or any other project that we do. The thought process of how these projects must come out. Not only that, how do I really improve on these projects and over a period of years become more skilled into the job that you did? So there are certain thoughts and ideas that I have. The first and foremost idea that I have and I want to share with you is to find things that are done in the world which you would like to emulate. When I started the real estate business, I started looking around and seeing what were the wonderful types of architecture, what are the different types of construction that is done, what are the different ways in which you can perform. When I found something which I liked very much, I actually fell in love with them. And that is how the project which our friend introduced to you about at Powai, opposite IIT Mumbai, was created. We looked at a design which actually appealed to us. And it did cost us a little more than it would have in the normal circumstances. But we went for it. We went for it because we loved it. We thought it was a good one. And we thought that these are the type of things that we can do. So first and foremost, any subject that you may take. If you're making a production item, let's say you are a mechanical person or an engineer or whatever line of production that you do, how can I make my product even better than what I had originally done? What is it that you can do to improve yourself? How can you really look forward to see what are the innovative ideas outside the normal stream that you were normally working on? All these are sounds. It is really not. And over a period of years, if you start practicing this idea of looking around and seeing what is the best practices that you can emulate, is done. The second thing I want to share with you is what is it that really entrepreneurs do when they want to get into a business. And this is one of the suggestions and one of the things which I did. I came from a medical family. I was the first generation businessman. So I never had any idea of what is the line of business that one should take. Over the period of years when I was studying in BCom, I did my commerce education from Sydenham College in Mumbai. And as I went and studied that course, I spent time during my summer vacation to work in various factories. I went into Gwalior, I went into Century Mills, and I looked at the factories, looked at the processes, looked at various ideas and thoughts. After 4 years, 5 years, of course, I did my chartered accountancy, but my mind was very clear. I thought the textile business was a good business, and we did it. So I started my life, very few people know this, that I started my life in the textile business. And we set up a powerloom factory in Kandivali in Mumbai. And on the side, after a couple of years, I also started in a very small way into the construction business. But the major thing was that over a period of years, we didn't know which way one is going to go. However, we kind of all the time emulated best practices in each trade, whether it was in textiles or it was in construction. So this was a great experience. Whenever you get a chance, please go ahead and do internship in the lines that you would like to take up. You can take up internship, you can take up apprenticeship. I'm sure that the IIT will put you across to many of the companies who will take you for such internships or this. Of course, at the end of it, you would like to have a job, and probably you have a placement person who will help you to get into a job. But even in the internship, even in the interim period between 2 years, one could take up something like an internship or an apprenticeship. The other thing which I find extremely useful for a person to do is to pick up different ideas from mentors. So look up to the persons you have. The person mentor could be your professor. Your mentor could be somebody from business and industry. And go and make friends with him and try to find out what he can share with you. Of course, he may not teach you the full tricks of the trade, but even few ideas and thoughts help. Over a period of years, I used to meet all the developers who used to do construction and were leaders in my trade. And I would go and request them to give me some time when I could spend time with them. This was a big learning. And many times people told me little things which became useful in terms of my trade. So try and get mentors in the trade and business that you want to do, or in the idea and thoughts that you can do. If you want to do research, you can, of course, have a mentor as a professor or a teacher of your college. And that could be extremely useful to use them in the earlier years so that in the future years they could guide you in the direction in which you could possibly do a PhD. One of the thoughts which I always had was, what is it that really makes a difference in terms of the direction in which you want to go? I will give you some examples and stories which I'd like to share with you, which I always remember and relate to. One of the thoughts is about, or two of the stories actually, is about Reliance Industries. I remember about 20 years ago, was it 17, 18 years ago, there was a lecture by Mr. Mukesh Ambani. And I attended this one, where he talked about a mobile phone. And at that time, the mobile phone cost, airtime, was 33 rupees a minute. I know it sounds strange for people who are of your age and time, but yes, it was so. And he made a statement that we want to make the mobile cost of a mobile phone to be less than 1 rupee a minute. And everybody thought, oh my God, this is just impossible to do. But it was there in his mind. Over a period of years, all these ideas have come true. But what is it in the crux of the thought that he made? He wanted to see that he had an idea and a thought which was in his mind, and over a period of time, as technology improved, he utilized that idea in order to create a service which became useful to all. And today, the Reliance and Jio, as you are using it today, is a thought process of an idea of service that he put it across. The other thought is of mine, in terms of what I want to share with you, is the fact of change or improvement. Over a period of years, I always wondered If one established in business, then, once you've established it, it should run automatically. Improvements will take place and people will manage the business, and you don't need to worry about it at all. But the contrary is true. We have to learn, one, to improve ourselves every day, every month, every year. Not only do we have to improve ourselves, but many times we have to actually change the line of business that we are doing. What happened to me? In the beginning, I started with textile and real estate, and over a period of time, I failed in both the businesses. And this was quite early in the day. I was leveraged and I didn't have money, so I wanted to give up one business. I didn't know which one to give up. I got a notice from the union of the textile business, which insisted on, the union wanted 100% increase in wages. So I gave up the textile business. Maybe otherwise, instead of being in the real estate line, I would have been in the textile line. So I continued the textile line and sold the real estate business, liquidated my debts, and moved on. So what does it mean? Businesses will never be stagnant. Ideas will never be stagnant. New thoughts will come up and new ideas will come up where you can make a change in the future that you want to do. So look at the example again of a company called Reliance. 30 years ago, Reliance was only a textile company. The 95% of the business of Reliance was textile. Today, after 30 years, only 0.1% of the business of Reliance is in textiles. Otherwise, it's in petrochemicals, it is in refining, it is in telecom, it is in retail. So over a period of time, you've had to do a change process that becomes constant in our endeavors that we really need to do. It's very interesting because most of the thoughts is establish a business and it will run on. The real truth is that we all have to be ready when you get into any profession or any business that we need to constantly do two things. One, constant improvements, learn about the market, and if necessary, make changes in your business or make changes in the kind of trade that you do. So all this becomes extremely important because at some point of time, we all reach a comfort zone, especially when you have been successful over a period of years. So the other factor is learn that in life that you will have to change. Look at the situation which has taken place today, the COVID situation. So many of the businesses had to close down. Retail had a big problem. Restaurants are still closed down. Hotels, travel and tourism is in great difficulty. All these factors need repositioning yourself in trade and business for what you do. So when you work in the future into the products that you do, remember that situations are going to be changing, dynamic over a period of years, and we need to do. Sometimes the government policies change, where the economic situation changes from the type of policy that they have, different new businesses can come up. So, for instance, this COVID situation will help the digital business. So, our company now is moving into building data centers because we have digital things happening, digital innovation is taking place. Today, we are talking over the digital media, and over a period of time, education is also taking the online platform, which is such a big change. My lecture today is also on an online platform. This new technology is going to change also the way that we conduct education. For instance, over a period of years, as you get into industry, in commerce, into business, or whatever else you plan to do, today it will be much, much easier to have continuing education because all the education is now available on the online platform, and plenty of this is now going to happen over a period of years. I'm sure you've dealt with Coursera and all the other products which are there now available for online teaching, and this will enable us to continue to learn new subjects, new skills over a period of years. The other thing which I've found over a period of years, and I'm now 71, is the fact that I enjoy being a learner all my life. The fun is learning new things, new ideas, new technologies, new thoughts, and new methodologies. In the good old days, whatever you learnt in college, in your institution, was something which would survive with you for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. Today, the education that you receive is certainly not going to last you beyond 5 to 7 years. If you don't continue to learn all the time, you will become out of date. Certain institutions do provide online and continuous learning for a long period of time after you have graduated, in terms of certificate courses, in terms of other lectures and others, in terms of alumni meets, and all these factors, I'm sure, will be available to you through IIT Roorkee. So, be a learner all your life, and you will be able to do it. Sometimes people tell me that it is difficult to make changes in life after you have grown a particular age. I want to share with you a story of Captain Leela, Captain Nair of the Leela. He started the Leela chain of hotels at the age of 62, and over a period of 10 to 12 years, set up 5 of the finest hotels in the world, in India, all over the country. This was something extraordinary. It was unbelievable that one could do it post 62, and without it having an Indian brand. It did not have to have any other brand which really did the work. So at any age you can do it, but it also indicates that you have to innovate and do new things whenever you can do it. One of the things which I have found over the period of time is, Mr. Hiranandani, how many times have you succeeded? And you are such a successful person. But how do you handle failure? I must shock you and tell you that 99% of successful people in life have failed many, many times. But they have learned to get up again and start walking, and maybe start running, and maybe start flying. But there is hardly anybody in the world who is successful over a period of years who has not failed in some business or the other, or in some matter or the other, or in some project or the other. All this is something which we all need to know and do that part of it. I have the matter to do and some thoughts of ourselves. The first thought of myself is you have to learn to believe in yourself. Yes, I have handicaps. I don't have a background of this matter or business. I don't have an idea that I can take up this innovation. I don't have a thought that I can actually succeed. These are problems that we all face in terms of hesitancy to try new lines of thought. Yes, we need to prepare ourselves for anything new that we take. There is always going to be a risk profile for that. But the joys of success of people who go out in the world in order to innovate, in order to create, in order to do new things, the joy is tremendous. Second, you have a great advantage. Today, we have a lot of people who are willing to finance and invest into innovators, into people who want to do a startup. And I'm sure that IIT Roorkee will enable you to meet such people and do it. A large number of very highly valuable businesses are technology driven. The ideas are simple, but on the back of it, we have technology. So let's take, for example, Airbnb, the holiday home maker. They don't own any single holiday home. They don't own a single hotel, but they are valued at billions of dollars simply because of the simple idea to give a room and to be able to assimilate on a technology program the customers and clients who want hotel rooms and the people who have built hotels and want to give it to these clients. Joining them together has created on the top of a technology platform a great business and a great valuation. Simple idea producing a great, wonderful thing. You may not think of the same idea, but you can always think of many such small ideas which can turn into do it on the top of technology. The other one, which is, of course, very interesting in terms of is the Amazon e-commerce, which is now taking place, which is a different sort of business that is there. And the best of all is the Uber and the Ola that you see in India. Both these people, both these institutions and companies have not a single investment in a single car or vehicle, but they run multi-billion-dollar business on the basis of technology, on behalf of linking the customer who wants to travel from A to B and the technology to be able to communicate. So we have a lot of opportunities in the new world in order to move ahead and see what is this opportunity that you can have also in this new world. My life has seen huge number of opportunities coming in India, and the growth of India post-COVID is also going to be a wonderful opportunity in India, and we all look forward to it. People wonder, is India a land of opportunity? The answer is very much yes. So whether in personal life, in personal goals that you may want to do, in profession that you would like to work into, or in opportunities of being an entrepreneur and stepping out in the world, this is a great country and a huge opportunity. I wish I was younger simply because I see that the opportunities available today to you are so much more than what was available to me in terms of people investing into startups, people investing into new opportunities, and the growth of India, which has created a GDP and a middle class and a development which is second to none in the entire world. I would like to stop now and share with you many such ideas, but I would prefer that it should come through a question-answer route rather than me continuing different thoughts of mine and different experiences that I wanted to put on the table. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to the questions that you may have to me on this day.
Thank you, sir. It was really great hearing you.
Thank you for such a motivating talk. The examples that you shared today are inspirational, and I think all of us here today are surely being inspired by whatever you're delivering today. So we have a few questions that have come to us, and I'm asking them in a in a random order. One of the questions is, how difficult is it for you to go from a failed textile business to the top 10 real estate tycoon of India? And what is the driving factor that you still keep learning?
Well, as I told you, failures at the time when you fail is always very difficult. No matter what happens and what kind of person you are, how hard you are, how rugged you are, how experienced you are, failure is a failure. And you have to learn from it, and you have to learn, get up and start moving again. But the secret is to get up and start moving again instead of dwelling on it. We all tend to dwell on our failures. If you don't dwell on the failures, but try and understand that we now need to get up and start walking again, the moment you get up and start walking and take first step towards improving your situation, changing your pattern, or doing whatsoever, the world is open to you, because when one door shuts, another door definitely opens, or at least the window does, where you can jump out of it. But there will always be opportunities for people who are not willing to take failure and dwell on it. Of course, you're upset about failures. I am also upset. I still get upset today also. But that doesn't mean that I dwell on it. You start moving again, and next morning you're back on the job. You're doing 4 new things, which will hopefully become more successful than the failure that you have got behind you. It's like a movie. Have you seen these film actors? They have so many movies that fail. Even Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan have a few failure movies. So if they can get up and go to the next movie and smile and go ahead and work, it's okay. I'm just giving a correlation.
Absolutely, sir. Talking about failures, one of the
I
questions
can't
is.
hear you. Sorry, the voice is gone. This happened before also. I don't know why.
Am I audible right now, sir?
I can lip read you.
You are audible to me, Abhas, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Now am I audible, sir?
No, I can't hear you, Abbas.
Just a second, sir. Anikant, could you take over the
Yeah, I
question?
can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear
Okay,
you.
you can hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you, Abbas.
Sure. So as we were talking about failures, is there any one mistake in your life that you regret or you would want to change if you got an opportunity?
Every failure has not a regret, but a learning. So if you're willing to learn from the mistakes of your past, then the regret goes away, because it becomes a learning pattern. So if I failed in something and I look back on it, can I learn something from the mistakes I did in order to see that I don't repeat that mistakes again? So it's all okay to make a mistake, but it's not good to make a mistake again and again. So if you learn from your mistakes and you learn from your failures, that's also a successful story. So if I failed in a project and then I look back on it, I made sure that in the future projects that I do, I will not make the same mistake again. You can make some other mistake, but you won't make that mistake again. So the secret is, how do you learn from your failures rather than it being wasted away and crying about it? So the secret is really look back at all your failures and say, all right, can I learn something from this failure? Can I improve it so that I don't fail again? What is it that I can do in order to change the method that I'm working today?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
No,
Yeah. Am I audible, sir?
no.
Abhas,
Yeah, now I can hear.
Yeah. Am I audible?
I'm sorry. I don't know.
yeah, I'm taking the next question.
Abbas, it is
Yeah.
taking slightly longer time for your voice to reach to Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani. So maybe take a small pause before speaking, so then he will be easily reading, hearing.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know. Something wrong.
Okay.
So am I audible right now? Am I audible?
Yeah. Okay. Sir, am I audible?
Hello.
Yeah.
Niranjan sir, am I audible?
Is there a chat box?
Yes, sir. There's a chat box.
Can I just post the questions there?
So there's a chat box on right side of your screen.
Hello.
Yes,
Sir, can you see the questions in the chat box?
I can hear you also, but let me look at the chat box too. But I can hear it, so you continue.
Okay, so there's one question. It says, is enrolling in an institute necessary for learning? Because the same things are available on things on platforms like Coursera.
Okay, so it's a wonderful question. And the answer to that question is very simple. Uh, Good institutions don't only teach the syllabi. It gives you networking, it gives you communication skills, it gives you possibilities of interaction, it gives you opportunities to challenge your success and failure, to be able to see how other people deal with the same issues. It is possible for us to do it. So, what is done in the offline platform, which is the physical platform, will always be superior than the online learning. But that does not mean that online learning is become a zero. There will be many things that you will have on the online learning, which is not necessary to do on the offline platform. So let's say, for example, I want to learn something now at my age and time, and I want to add on to the knowledge that I have. What would I do? Would I spend my time spending 6 months in going into college and doing it, or would I do it on the uh, online platform? So that is the time where you take advantage of the online system. So over a period of time, the institutions of excellence will teach not only the subjects, but it will also add on the other aspects of it, which is the skill sets that you need in order to be a successful engineer, a successful graduate, a successful person in your line of on your line of learning. So the second will be that even institutions in normal course may do dual things. You may have a part of it online and a part of it offline. For example, you could do a 2 year course, and then 6 months while you are working, you will have additional ability to interact with your institution in order to share your experience and discuss it with your teachers. So that becomes an interactive session after you have gone into the business or in the world. So my belief is that it will be a blended learning, which will be the best in the world. But over a period of time, for continuous learning, over a period of years, the online platform will become superior. But for people who want to have learning from institutions of excellence, will have to go into the institution themselves.
Absolutely, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So, sir, there's one more question. It says that how important is a team for success of a company, and what is the role of a team leader, and how can a team leader build an efficient team?
Oh, that's a very difficult question. The reason is that the teams are different in different places. So teams, for the purposes of companies which require innovation, require a different type of handling. You have to give lot of space, lot of things to do it. But let's say teams in the manufacturing side, you have to hold it very tight and tight fisted, because the systems have to be followed to the T. And if you want to innovate or you want to change, the whole line of process has to approve it before you do it. While when you want to do other types of innovation in the technology field and other things, everyone may come up with an idea which has to be incorporated and done every day. And in fact, 9 out of 10 people in your team may not agree to the idea, but still the leader of the team will pick up your idea and convert it into an excellent business. So, different teams will require different skill sets to handle depending on the type of objective that you want to have or the results that you want to do or whatever. But giving authority and responsibility to the people within your team is extremely important if you want independent people to go beyond their normal capacity to succeed. So I have to trust my people much more if I want them to step out of the box and do better than the best also. Then that's the only way to do it. But you can't do it in every type of work and activity.
Yes, so we understand it. So there's one more question that how do you see the real estate business in the next 10 years, looking at the current situation?
Well, if the Prime Minister's objective of housing for all is to succeed, then the business of business should grow hugely in the next couple of years. So the opportunity in the business is tremendous. If the $5 trillion economy is to be achieved of the Prime Minister, real estate and infrastructure will be a very major part of that growth process. So all in all, it is my expectation that this line of business will work.
Great, sir. So there is one more question. Well, I think this is the last question. It says, does the uprising of digital markets in India marks the downfall of the physical businesses?
Absolutely not. A building has to be constructed, it will definitely be there. But you will use the digital technology to be able to be an enabler to do it better, cheaper, more economical, more better quality. And also, you will put in much more digital hardware into the building in order that technology can be also utilized. So, whether it is availability of internet, whether connectivity, whether it be fiber laden or with connectivity, all these things will be there. So you will have businesses which will be technology based and businesses which will be hardcore infrastructure like highways, roads, ports, airports. All these are this thing. Of course, they have a backbone of technology in it, but not 99% of it would be physical and not technology based. But you may use technology to improve the construction and activity that you're really doing in it. So that is certainly going to be there. But if you're asking me about how technology is going to, our company is putting up data centers. My son is leading that business. And we have put up the largest data center in Asia and the second largest and tier 4, which is the highest rating data center in the world. So that's in Navi Mumbai, in near Mumbai. So all that we are working on. So we are into the digital business tremendously, and we believe there is a huge future in that business.
Absolutely, sir. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart and all the participants present here for delivering such a wonderful lecture and answering all our questions with the same enthusiasm. Now I would like to call upon Professor Akshay Dwivedi to extend the vote of thanks.
Abbas, Professor Barua, Dean of Student Welfare is here and he will be delivering the vote of thanks. Professor Barua.
So, in fact, at the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani.
Again, I can't hear, but it's fine.
Now, can you hear me? Is it okay?
Actually, when we unmute, the voice reaches Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani sir a little late. So that's the only thing.
Maybe the problem is on my side. I don't know.
So, sir, thank you very much for sparing your valuable time and delivering a session for our students. Cognizance is one of the technical events of IIT Roorkee. And as you have rightly chosen the topic of this talk, that learning from outside the class. So our students do learn several things from outside the class. In fact, this function, Cognizance, is fully planned, organized and executed by the team of students only. They only collect money from different sponsors, be it government department or be it public sector undertaking or private companies. And they do reach out to thousands of students from all across the country. And every year we used to have participation from more than 150 engineering and management institutions. So this is a perfect example of outside learning. Though I am a faculty of management department, but I really means I accept that the learning from outside is more these days. It is required very much. So thank you very much once again. In fact, I have watched you several times on several news channels, and this is the first time I got an opportunity to interact with you. So thank you so much, sir. And I also thank Professor Ajit Chaturvedi, Director of the Institute, Professor Manish Srikhande, Dean of Sponsored Research and Industrial Consultancy, Professor Akshay Dwivedi, and I thank all the team members of Cognizance to have you as one of the speakers in this program. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure to come to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
To mark the end of this event, I would like to thank all the Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, the Director Professor Ajit Kumar Chaturvedi, Professor Mukesh Kumar Barua, Professor Manish Srikhande, Professor Akshay Dwivedi, the E-Cell and the Student Technical Council of IIT Roorkee for this wonderful event. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.